Welcome! Let's learn how to play For Sale. It's a really fast and fun auction game for 3 to 6 players, and you can usually knock out a game in about 20 minutes.
In this quick explainer, you're going to learn everything you need to get your first game to the table and start playing right away.
So, we'll quickly go over the main objective, how to get set up, the 2 phases of the game, buying and selling, and of course, how to win.
All right, first things first, what are you actually trying to do in this game?
It's really simple. Your goal is to be the richest player when the game ends. You're going to do that with a classic buy low, sell high strategy. It's all about making a profit.
Okay, so let's get the game out of the box and onto the table.
Setup is a breeze. Just shuffle the square property cards into one deck and the rectangular currency cards into another. Then hand out the starting coins to each player. The last step is just making a few small adjustments based on how many people are playing.
So as you can see, your starting cash changes a little bit. If you're playing with 5 or 6 people, you start with $14,000. But with 3 or 4 players, you actually start with a bit more money, $18,000. In those smaller games, you also have to remove a few property and currency cards from the game without looking at them.
All right, the game's set up and you're ready to go. The first half of the game is all about one thing, buying properties. This is where you'll be spending that starting cash.
Here's how a round works. You'll flip over a number of property cards equal to the number of players. So in a 4-player game, you flip 4 cards. As soon as they're face up, the auction begins.
Okay, so it's your turn. You've got 2 and only 2 choices. You can either bid or you can pass. If you bid, it's pretty simple. You just have to bid higher than the person before you. This keeps you in the running for the best property on the table. Now, passing is where things get really interesting. If you pass, you're out of the auction for this round. You immediately take the worst property that's still available, but you get half of your last bid back.
Let's dig into that getting your money back part because it's a really crucial piece of strategy in this game.
So, let's say you're in an auction, and you just bid $3,000. The next player raises the price, and you decide, you know what? That's too rich for my blood. I'm out.
When you pass, you take back half of your last bid, always rounding down. So from that $3,000 bid, half would be $1,500. You round that down, and you get $1,000 back in your hand. Pretty neat, right?
And here's a huge tip for this phase. Keep your money hidden from the other players. If they don't know how much cash you're holding, they won't know if you're making a big, confident bid or if you're bluffing with your last few coins.
So after a few rounds, all the properties will be bought up. Everyone has a hand of cards. Now comes the best part, phase 2, where you sell those properties and get paid. The setup for this phase is going to feel super familiar. We're going to flip over cards equal to the number of players again, but this time they're not properties. They're currency cards, basically big fat paychecks.
Here's how it works. Everybody looks at the properties they own, secretly picks one to sell this round, and places it face down. Once everyone has made their choice, you do a dramatic reveal and flip them all over at the same time.
The outcome is super straightforward. The person who played the highest value property takes the highest value paycheck, second highest property gets the second highest check, and so on all the way down the line. As you can see, the player with the worst property, well, they might get the dreaded $0 check.
You just keep doing that, selling one property each round until everyone's hands are empty. And then it's time for the final calculation, the moment of truth.
Yep, once that very last property has been sold and the last paycheck has been claimed, the game is officially over. So how do you figure out who won? It's time to count up all your money. You're going to add 2 different things together to get your final score.
First, add up the big numbers on all of those currency cards you collected. Then add any of those little $1,000 coins you managed to save from the bidding phase. Whoever has the highest grand total is the winner. And hey, if there happens to be a tie, the player with the most leftover coins wins.
And just like that, you know everything you need to play for sale. It's a fantastic game of bluffing and smart bidding. So the only question left is, what kind of property mogul are you going to be? Go have fun and find out.